Character profile of Mr Birling from an Inspector Calls with Mrs Potts from the Net English Director team. Mr Birling is used by J.B. Priestley to criticise the ignorant middle-class men who were motivated by wealth, reputation and privilege. He is a capitalist who is fuelled by lower costs, higher prices, and exploits the working class who work in his factory. Like Mrs Birling, he accepts no responsibility. Arthur is described as pretentious and provincial, highlighting his negative qualities immediately. Before Ghoul arrives, Arthur dominates the family talk, showing his portentous and arrogant nature. Dramatic irony is used when Arthur is adamant that the Germans don't want war and that the Titanic is absolutely unsinkable. The audience know that Arthur is wrong and therefore doubt everything else he says. The Titanic is a symbol of capitalism, and by the end of the play the ideals of capitalism and Mr Birling have metaphorically sunk and won't resurface. Birling tells us that it is his duty to keep labour costs down and criticises the idea of community and all that nonsense. He doesn't want to be mixed up with the lower class and believes in a divided society and openly describes himself as a hard-headed businessman who is not driven by compassion but wealth. When Ghoul enters, Birling's portentous nature continues as he constantly name-drops in an attempt to intimidate Inspector Ghoul. He describes the death of Eva as horrid business, illustrating his focus on materialism and later the wretched girl's suicide, showing the barrier that he places between him and the working class. He views responsibility and community as awkward, rather than saying we are members of one body, and is almost proud in his reasons for sacking Eva. It is in Act 1 that we first see a conflict within the family, as Eric questions his father's actions, as he describes Eva's situation as a damn shame and feels pity for her, unlike his father. We continue to criticise Birling. In Act 3, when Arthur discovers Ghoul is not a real inspector, he is triumphant and welcomes Gerald back into the family despite his treatment of Sheila, showcasing Arthur prioritises his business over his daughter's happiness and morals. Eric and Sheila are frustrated by their father's reaction as he reverts back to what he was like in Act 1. He has not learned his lesson and it is obvious he will be taught it in fire, blood and anguish. It is clear Arthur has no redeemable features.